Hello and welcome to another week in our garden. It's just stopped raining, but on the forecast it says locally there's no rain today. I was wrong, it was quite a heavy shower. Now I'm starting in the greenhouse today at the top, and we'll show you a little bit different this week. We'll show you what we're going to harvest, and with one or two jobs we've got to do as well. We've got to get those turnips and swedes in, and then once you've seen what we're going to harvest, then we'll harvest it and show you what has been harvested. It might save a bit of time than watching me harvesting every week. So I'll just show you around, and then we'll go down to the shed. These are some of the tomatoes that are now ready, want picking. Some of the larger red ones are coming through now. We keep picking the cucumbers. I'm going to take that one over there today. As you can see, they're all coming at the top now. So what I do is, it's an old leaf and it's getting a bit of mildew on it. So all I do is I just follow it back and cut it off. And then make sure we throw that away. Most of the bottom leaves will go like this, so we'll just remove them because we want the energy now coming into the top. So we don't want to have any sort of mildew or anything on the bottom leaves. Just cut them off. Be careful as you cut them off though, don't cut the stem. Now I've popped into the shed and got the seed ready for the turnips and swedes. But we thought we'd just pop in this bottom greenhouse to show you how the peppers are doing and the aubergines. As you can see, they're all doing quite well and swelling up nicely, but they're just not getting enough sunshine yet. You need 20 degrees for these, but they've all got fruit on them. There are not. Aubergines are beginning to come now, they'll be fine. I think there's 2 or 3 on that one. Now we're a bit congested in here because the plants in the centre I was going to put out and try and get a summer crop of the peppers. Now obviously the weather's not suitable to put peppers outside, they're just this wind that we've got and the rain will rip them to pieces. So when the summer does arrive, I'll try and pop them out, but in the meantime I'm afraid they'll have to stop in here and we'll have to be a bit congested for a while. Now somebody's asked me about the peanuts, which I don't think peanuts like our land. They haven't done very well at all, but we'll show you. And I think the slugs have been at them a bit as well in this wet weather, but we'll show you how they're getting on. These are the peanuts. I don't think they've moved since I put them in. The weather's against them and they're on some very clayey land down here. Not hoping much for them, but we've got them in. I think the slugs are enjoying them. And then this is a little pot of white strawberries that want potting up as well. We've just nipped into the B&P net. We did have a shower of rain and we had to scuttle into the greenhouse again, but we just thought we'd show you the peas are all filling up nicely now. They are. They're looking well. These will like the rain, so they'll really fill up with this wet weather. The beans are now showing flower. They've had a bit of a blow in the wind and it's browned some of the leaves off a bit, but they'll be fine. These are the Bellotti beans. They've took quite a blow from this high winds, but they'll get over that. These should get to about 6 feet and they must be at 7 feet now. I think that's due to this wet weather, and then you have sunshine and then wet weather again, and it really has pulled them up. As I say, a little bit of wind damage, but they're doing fine. Right, we're going to try and set these swedes and turnips, providing they don't blow away. You can see the wind on the bird scarer. It's usually you get a blast of wind just before it rains, so, but we'll do what we can. The tunnel that we're going to put them in, I did have some aubergines in here, trying to grow them outside when it was nice weather, but I'm afraid the pigeons totally annihilated them and they've just left with little sticks, so we've done away with those. I hope that's safe. And so we did away with those. We were going to put the swedes and the turnips where we had the garlic, but that ground is far too hard to get in. This is broken down well, so we'll put them in this tunnel just here. I'm just going to make a line, a little trench with the trowel, put the seed in and cover it up. So I just, as you can see, the soil's lovely in here for us, so that'll do nice. I'm just going to make a cut with the trowel, just about ½ an inch to an inch deep. Lots of stones in it, but the swedes will be alright with a stone or two. I'm going to do this all the way to the bottom. These are the swede and the turnips we're going to pop in, providing the wind doesn't blow them away, but should be alright. So put a few in your hand. Right, there's my little trench. So I just put a few in, let them drop through your fingers, and then a space. And then if all those come, we'll thin them down so that the spaces are there when you see them. It's there, look, so we go there, see? Just remember not to roll it in your hands because you might crush the seed. Then, as I say, as we thin them, we can leave one in each. So that's there. We'll go there, take the weed out, I'll mark it. So I'll get the rest in of the swede and then we'll show you the turnip seed going in. Now we'll put the turnip in. Very similar seed, perhaps a fraction smaller, but we'll put it in exactly the same way. There's little groups there, not, and then a little group there, and it'll be easier for us to thin out then. You haven't got to take your eye off the row though, or you'll have some blank spaces. Plenty of seed in, they're not all germinate. Right, now I've got nice big labels now. These are one of my Father's Day gifts I got off Gemma. I got quite a few of these. So these are should be able to see that next year when they lift it. That'll be we'll be able to see those. We just cover them up, just push some soil over them and then chomp them down. Make good contact. I'll get these all finished. I do believe there's another rain cloud coming across. Quickly as I can and we'll get the cover on. That's the cover on the turnips and the swedes. The main thing that will be keeping off, apart from the pigeons, let's say, the big birds, is it will keep the flea beetle off, because swedes and turnips are usually annihilated with flea beetle, and it's a bad year for flea beetle, so that might help. When we start harvesting later on, or maybe tomorrow yet, depends on the weather, we will actually start by lifting a little bit of the rhubarb, which is grown very well in this cold weather, and a few lettuce. What we'll show you is the courgettes, and I think the pumpkins want making into a circle, so we'll do those on the way past. The wind has really blown over the broad beans now, so when we harvest them this time, we'll lift the plants, harvest the crop, and then start with a piece of fresh ground. could be a place where we put those nice peppers that we've got in the greenhouse waiting to come out. Can you see where the flea beetle's been in? Had a good forage in there. Some of these outdoor tomatoes have ripened up, so we'll harvest those as well. Now the sweet peas are smelling absolutely beautiful. We haven't been able to pick any this week because of the rain, so we're enjoying them in the garden. Now the courgettes are just about ready for picking, so we'll be picking some of those. Can you see how the bottles are coming into their own now? They're too high now, and so it makes watering a lot easier. The bottles that are in courgettes will be great when I'm watering, if I water, because it's going to rain in a moment. So at the moment we're not watering, but we don't know what the weather can change, and then we'll start watering into the bottle. Now as we go past the pumpkin patch, I've been asked how I keep them in circles, and it's the same as what we do each year with these pins that I made with hose pipe on. We've got a section here wants tidying up, so I'll do that and show you how I do that. What I use are these pins that were made. It's only a wire bent over with a bit of hose pipe on it, and I push it across the stems and it just holds them in place. What you'll find though is once you've held them to the ground, where there's a leaf joint, it'll root down and it'll hold itself in place. Now if we didn't keep these nice and tidy in these circles, they would cover the whole of this ground. They really do run, if you know what I mean. And if they can get a root down somewhere else, they'll be off again. So we really need to control them. Can you see where I've pushed the leaves into circles as they've grown? This one's going away, look, so bring that in and just pop that in like that and just leave it. Where can you see here? Let me remove that weed. Where this knuckle is here and this leaf joint, you'll find that will root down as well, so they stay. Once you get them going in the circle, they do stay there. Now this one now is on its third bottle. If I can just pull it up and show you, you see how they go into one another, and they're on a cane, so when I water now, that goes straight into the root, where you don't really know where the root is when this gets covered. So I just keep piling the bottles on, put them on a cane, and then water into there, should we ever need to water. Here again, look, this one's trying to escape, so we'll bring it back round. You can be quite tough with them, not too tough, but be quite tough with them, and then push it back into line with the others, and then I just put a loose peg on. This bottle's got two on now, but this will disappear soon under the foliage. This one here has already got one on, but then it needs tidying up again, so it's quite easy to pull them out, pull everything back into line, and just drop your pin back on like that. And with it having the hose pipe on it, it's yellow, so you can find them at the end of the season, and they don't do any harm to the stems. And that's how I keep them running in a nice circle. What I tend to do is, if the pumpkins start to swell, I put them on a bit of a mat, which I'll show you later, and I can either bring them through the front into the circle or around the edge so they can mature in the sun. I've done the circle. You will knock a leaf or two off, but don't worry, they'll soon grow some more. At the moment, because I've just done it, you can see where I've been moving the plants, but by tomorrow it'll be a full canopy again. We'll be harvesting a couple of these cabbages. You can see they look beautiful, Lovely round summer cabbages. Right, hello again. We've finished the harvesting for today. Between showers we had to keep dipping in and waiting for the rain to stop and then coming out again. Now I'm very pleased with what we've been harvesting. To say this weather we're getting, remember it's supposed to be July now and it should be a lot warmer than what it is, but the crops are doing very well. They're holding up against the weather. So we'll show you what we've harvested. Now there's a nice cabbage there, white cabbage that'll be, it's solid, made a good cabbage in the end. A few courgettes, yellow courgettes or golden courgettes as we like to call them. Cucumber, the tomatoes, now there are Gardener's Delight, which are the orange ones, and Sun Gold in there, which is the yellow ones. And now a pair of lettuce, a red and a green. They're just beginning to stretch a little, but that's fine, they're still usable. They are little gems, so they'll be small anyway, so always taste good. Now this is the last of the broad beans. We've actually lifted the crop. I've cut off the roots and left them in because obviously there's nitrogen nodules on them, so we'll let the next crop have that bit of nitrogen. The strawberries, that's about the final of the first crop of strawberries. The second crop now will be coming along. There's a few raspberries in there as well that we couldn't get on the other tray. A tray of raspberries. Very nice, well pleased with the raspberries. There's still a few more to pick, and then you've got the second crop coming through as well. Now the berries, Diane's picked the berries for me, and she's picked red, black and white. There's enough there to start us off, but there's an awful lot still to pick. We'll have to go back and pick again in the week. Now the cherries, we had a little cherry tree that we bought from somewhere. It was actually a damaged tree or something, but it was being sold off, and I planted it on the boundary, and this is its first time it's produced, and it's only a small tree but it's absolutely covered. We did notice and put a net over it which stops the birds having them. Little bit of rhubarb. Always good to have some rhubarb in, makes a nice pudding, and some lovely Guardsman spring onion. That to me is a good harvest. It's a good July harvest, shall we say. Now that'll be it for this week. Thank you for watching, thank you for being with us. Many thanks for subscribing, we do appreciate it, and hopefully we'll see you next week. Bye now.